Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it's live, or a link in the info box once the video has rendered. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition straight across to the Hangout, as we do have a few guests who may or may not want to introduce themselves, but in the meantime, please share the show. Sharing the show increases the live audience, of course, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. And with that, I'll say a hello to all of the people in the Hangout. How are you doing, guys? Good to have you all here.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Zoe. Good morning, Sleeping Warrior. Any more for any more?
Hello, Nathan. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Arwin. Any more? No, that's it. Good to have you all.
Spurs was here a minute ago. Is Spurs gone?
Yeah, I just had to refresh. Yeah, good morning. And we still have an ISS problem, which I hope we can discuss at some point.
Yeah, we have a WGS84 problem as well, which we need to discuss at some point.
Let me just refresh.
Should we start with WGS? Because that might.
Well,
be
I was
quick.
going to say, I spoke to Chris yesterday about this and asked if he'd be interested in doing a hangout on the subject, just on that subject specifically. If you're up for it too, I'm well up for having you on, and we'll all three of us just go through it. How about that?
Sure.
I'm not saying don't talk about it now. I'm just saying we'll do a specific dedicated hangout as well.
Well, do you have that wireframe thing that was created the other day? Not
I'm sure I do.
not the one with the flat map on it. The wireframe one that I couldn't get to open on my computer.
Yeah, I'm sure I can dig that out. Give me a sec.
If you can get that on screen, because this is the file that I couldn't. When I saved it on my computer, for some reason I couldn't. It wouldn't do what it would normally do, and I couldn't get it to present when I wanted to send it, and it was acting daft. And I think there's been a misunderstanding on one half of a GeoStreamer thing. GeoStreamer seems to believe that we've butchered something previous, and as far as I'm concerned, it was created from scratch, applying the equation that GeoStreamer was insistent was not created. Now, basically, the claim is that we have a celestial sphere. Okay. Now, I don't know how the stars work into this, because the stars, there's two rotation points in the night sky. But I've always heard Tim describing the celestial sphere, but it turns out that it's not a celestial sphere at all. It's a celestial pancake. And this kind of matches what we see.
It's
But
on
the
screen
argument
now, but you
against-
can only see it on your watch page, because I'm sharing something else at the moment. But yeah, if you want to pop your watch page up, make sure it's on mute, and then you'll see it. But the audience can see it.
So this is the celestial sphere that was applied using the equation that we were talking about yesterday. And principally, the celestial sphere isn't actually a celestial sphere at all. When you challenge the actual maths behind it, there's a flattening factor to it, and the flattening factor stops it from being a sphere. It's now become some kind of, well, there's some fancy name for it, and you can call it a variety of names. Principally, though, it's not a sphere. So all that nonsense that Tim's been barking on about, celestial sphere, turns out not to be a sphere, Tim. Sorry to dampen your bubble. But in essence, Nath, that internal flattened sphere is what it's referring to. That's the equation of the maths, correct? I'll assume that he was saying yes for the purposes of the audience. But this is the document that was created. And we own this document, or I say we. One person particularly owns it, but this is created from scratch, applying the mathematics that was given in the equation that we were talking about yesterday. And then all we've done is shove the flat map in there, and it shows that the relationship between the flat map and the celestial sphere that's been flattened, that's no longer a sphere, Tim. So I'm hoping that Tim will stop talking about this celestial sphere, because that will be inaccurate. It's not a sphere, it's flat. So that deals with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have something to eat. Spurs, do you want to talk about your ISS issue?
Well, yeah, it's still on. It's not ongoing. It's ongoing. It's not still looking at it, but it appears that everything matches up. It's right. The way that Red was looking, we see him observing the ISS coming from his left, going off to the right, and then obviously in Texas we see it going from the right to the left, which obviously is impossible as far as I'm aware. If anybody knows any better, can explain the path, I think that will put it to bed. But I've put it back up. I took it down because I thought somebody had answered, and I accepted the explanation. And then it was demonstrated that, I got it right the first time. So I put the video back up and gave another explanation as to why. So it just needs explaining. That's all. The question is still out there. Why is the ISS going in two different directions? So.
Nathan, I'm just having something to eat, but could you address that comment by our German friend? Sleeping Warrior and Nathan Oakley are in conflict there. Anthony thinks it's the oblateness of the celestial sphere, while Oakley thinks it's the Earth that's flat with a thickness of 33 kilometers. Could you just clarify it for the benefit of GeoStreamer?
So the Earth that is presented to the general public, the geoid Earth, is identical in terms of its models and its factors as the azimuthal equidistant projection. They are one and the same thing. However, when they use this tool, they flatten it completely. And there's a flattening factor, which the maths was shown yesterday. As I said earlier, we'll go through this in detail with Chris and Sleeping Warrior and anyone else who wants to chime in on the subject. But yeah, basically, what is actually used for surveying the flat land that we all observe is a flat map. And it's flattened to a 33-kilometre disc. That's what the flattening factor does. And it is applied so that they can actually use it to survey things. Simple. If you don't want to accept that it is a flat representation and that maths that flattens it is used, then you don't have to. Nobody has to accept anything. That's just the reality of what surveyors do, whether you like it or not. They flatten the map so that it matches reality. Simple.
You hear that, Glovers? It's flat. Silence.
As there should be. It's a flat. It's somebody saying, "Oh, it's just a map." Well, no, it's a surveying tool. It's not just a map. It's a tool that they use to survey things. And if a surveyor was to get that reference incorrect and submitted the data, he'd probably get sacked. You have to get it absolutely correct. You have to tie things to that datum. That's what you do. But once you've got your reference point from the datum to place you in a particular point on that flat disk, you then just do plane surveying. They level their transits. They make sure they're all level. Everything's pointing at 90 degrees. Everything's level. Flat. That's how they do surveying. The fact that they go to a geodetic reference to get their original point and plot out from there is meaningless. They're not plotting it to a sphere. That's just what they show the general public, the geoid Earth. It's flattened. Completely squashed flat.
You'll notice that there's quite a lot of silence recently because basically these boys don't want to come in anymore in the name of a protest. But of course they don't want to come in because nobody can explain why we see stuff on the Isle of Man stuff that is not meant to be seen. And whilst I bring that up briefly, should I do it now or should I do it later?
Hey,
I'll do it in an hour.
I see Curved Water's back in chat.
Who's back in what?
It's been a long time.
Curved Water. Yeah, he fell out with them all because he has a potty mouth apparently, and people don't like him being potty mouth.
I'm surprised to see him back in chat. Maybe they're gonna come back after their retreat.
Well, they won't be able to come back in, even if the protest was to end, because how are they going to explain where the lack of curvature is? I mean, Michael Lightoff should be behind
You're
the curve.
assuming way too much. They can still come back and just get in our way.
Well,
You're assuming that they're actually going to come back with arguments. Come on, you're.
oh, they'll come back with arguments, but they won't come back with evidence.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Can't prove bendy light. Not in a non-homogeneous medium that varies with like millibars worth of pressure variance. You would have to show how much light can bend with millibars worth of variance on pressure, and they can't do it.
Nathan, Red Rhetoric wants to join. If you have a link,
It's really young.
All are welcome. Should be in the info box. I haven't actually checked it. Hold on.
can we check if it's the real Red
It's not
before?
It's not him.
There's no link there. Typical. Sorry, bear with me. Just wipes. Every time I start the show, it wipes the link from the info box. I don't know why it does that.
It's not the real one.
Are you still there?
Anthony, sorry. It's not the real Red.
Do we even need to address Paul Voigt's last comment? The Earth is not flat. You were at 35 meters on top of a hill. Everything that do you know what, Paul? You should have changed the word hill to cliff to make it sound more plausible. Everything can be explained by the globe model. I don't give a shit what you claim. You're a liar.
Oh.
Well, we've shown what the elevation was, Paul. It was 35 feet. I've measured it. I'm satisfied that it's not wildly inaccurate. You said that you had an email from somebody in the council, and I asked you yesterday to produce that email so that we could ring him live on air. And guess what? Again, you didn't produce any evidence. So who's lying here, Paul? Is it me, who's measured it, and I'm happy to reassert my position? Or is it you that claims that you've got evidence, but when put to the test, you don't appear to produce it? You're just like Al Key and Miles the Liar Davis. You all claim nonsense, but when put to the test, you don't produce evidence. You're all liars.
They're
You're all
trolls in a
dishonest.
boat fishing, just like his icon.
I think somebody should buy Paul that gone fishing sign that he can hang over his door, because his days of being a physicist are sadly numbered. You may as well just give it up and go fishing.
Yeah.
Sleeping
Always go
warrior.
fishing.
Why are you lying? I don't think Paul understands what a lie is. You did not show any evidence. No, Paul, that's right. If you remember correctly, the way that it went was I produced a video claiming to be at 35 feet when I applied Google Earth. You lot said that Google Earth has got a variation of up to 30 meters. I went back to check to see how wild that claim may be. And guess what? I found that it was supporting and in fact made it reduced the height of the cliff that I was on. But not to make it, I didn't make any video about it because I'm not trying to debunk Google Earth. All I'm doing is seeing whether your claim of 30-meter variance was enough or whether it was applicable. And guess what? It wasn't. So rather than produce any evidence, I reasserted my position after measuring it, and I don't have to prove anything to you. So you guys don't understand that you are the ones that have got to prove stuff here, not me.
Just a minor
All I'm
correction.
doing is reasserting my position because Google Earth appears to be accurate.
Just a minor correction. We are trying to debunk Google Earth, but we are not trying to validate that Google has got accurate heights. We are testing that model and the heights it presents in that model. So it's not our place to go out and validate what Google claims. The claim we are making is Google's claim. If you, as an individual, want to go out and debunk Google in terms of its altitudes at St. Bees, then you're welcome to. On the other hand, if you would like to measure the height of St. Bees and measure the target at Morgold, I'm more than happy to do that as a comparison, in the same way as when we used Ordnance Survey maps, the maps that come from a squashed 33-kilometre disk at the centre of a geoid with a derived value for the polar radius. That, if you want to use that, I don't mind you using your flat world representation and saying it's a globe and pretending it's a globe. I'll use those values too. But the reason we've used Google is because that's a spherical representation of Earth. How you doing, Pete? Oh, it's P. How you doing, P?
Yeah, hey, good.
You're a bit quiet, mate, but yeah, good.
There
you go.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, Paul and Jeremy are running this Discord, and I just think they're very hypocritical because I feel like they have double standards, because I just hear them just bashing on flat earthers, calling flat earthers stupid, yet they told me that I'm not allowed to be there because I say mean things or something. So it seems like they're cool, like treating flat earthers like second-class citizens over there, and but you're not allowed to retaliate and do the same thing back to them because they have double standards, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty unfortunate, and I think they could probably find something better to do with their time. It's so funny because this guy named Wolf came on their Discord and pointed these things out to them, and he's like, "Why do you guys?" He asked soundly, like, "Why are you doing this? Trying to disprove or go after the flat Earth?" And soundly kind of answered saying, like, "Well, I don't like it when people are lied to and scammed out of money." But really, if you think about it, that's a horrible reason, because there's so many organizations, or there's so many like people are being lied to and scammed out of money everywhere, like walled everywhere. You can't trip, you'll fall down, you'll land on someone getting scammed and conned and lied to. So I don't know, it's just funny like how they're so concerned with this really small community on YouTube. But it's okay for like these large institutions to lie and scam people. They just have weird double standards and they're hypocrites.
Thank you, Pete. That's a very sensible thing of you to say.
How you doing, press release? Can you hear us?
Howdy. How you doing?
Good to have you. Oh, it's Tim. How you doing? Good to have you.
Hey, not bad. I'm Ranty's got me blocked on my main account, so. Anyway, Pete is just a follower, just, you know, anywhere he fits in, and really he'll turn on you guys and get all triggered and stuff at any point. So
no, that's actually not what a follower is. A follower actually sticks to the same group over and over again. Pete is an independent guy with an independent mind. I kind of respect that, even if he still believes in the globe.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know me. He's here to tell us about the celestial spheres again, I think, or the celestial poles.
Yeah, could you tell us about the celestial spheres? How they prove the shape of the Earth, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. There's two celestial poles, north and south. And your geoid has nothing to do with it. So, well done. You guys are claiming a bunch of stuff that are just going to make you look like morons again. It's really silly of you.
So you're saying that surveyors don't do what we've claimed? Sorry, just a second. Tim, are you saying that surveyors do not apply a flattening factor when they survey the land?
So you're talking about surveying the land, and then you say that there's a celestial sphere that isn't what I'm saying? That there's a north and a south celestial point? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking a question. I'm asking if they apply a flattening factor. A flattening factor or not.
I'm saying surveying the land.
They don't apply that. They don't. They just measure the land.
You weren't involved in this, Arwen. 1 moment, please.
I am involved. I'm in the panel right here. I'm telling you, people that professionally measure land, they just measure the land, and all these celestial spheres out there have no relation. No relation whatsoever.
Debunked Nathan. Yeah.
That's not true, Arwen. Very good. They take a celestial reference point from the geodetic survey. That's what the WGS is for.
For what? For surveying the land?
Correct.
Okay.
They get their datum points from
the two celestial points.
There's geodetic reference points on the Earth. They're laid all over the place.
Thank you, Arwen. Tell Nathan that, please.
Oh, and Nathan knows this.
No, he actually is thinking that it's debunking the celestial sphere that we can all go observe, actually.
No. I haven't claimed that. That's not what I've claimed. I'm asking
you
about
have a lot
the
of
flattening
fantasies
factor and talking about the map.
Will you just let Nathan speak? Thank you. Nathan?
No worries. So it's a geodetic reference point that they're taking, and it does take into account the celestial sphere. That's absolutely how it works. They get a reference point from that.
Does it map the stars? Is it mapping the land, Nathan?
Mapping the land.
Okay. Very good. Well, we're in agreement then.
Yeah, I knew we were anyway.
So does that debunk the celestial points?
No, I've never claimed it does debunk the celestial sphere. There is a celestial sphere, and I understand that. But what I'm asking is, do they or do they not apply a flattening factor when they survey the land, according to you?
I think you've already... I think you've already been, there's people in the chat telling you about the flattening factor.
I'm asking you.
Well, it has
to do with... You have to get it out of your mouth. Let it out.
And it's 30...
I'll win.
All right.
You're wrong, Nathan. That's all that needs to be said. If you want to look into it, there's plenty of smart individuals in your chat that have already gone over it several times. Even before the show, they were talking about it, so... You got it wrong.
I'm asking you.
Again, just like Isle of Man seeing Ireland. You guys are wrong.
And I'd like to know what's wrong about this. So this is what they do. This is the formulas they use when they flatten the geoid. This is the exact equation used. That equation has been plugged into a model, and this is the result of that model using the maths. So either you're saying that they're lying about this maths and what it does, because this is the graphical representation of what that maths does to the geoid, or you're just saying that I've just made this up. So I don't know which, because this has been given me by a surveyor.
I'm confused, Nathan. You're conflating the issue here.
Do they apply a flattening factor when they survey the land? Yes or no?
Does that mean the Earth is flat? Yes or no?
I'm asking you a specific question. Do they apply this flattening factor where it says flattening WGS84 and then presents a formula? Are you saying that this formula is not used? Are you saying this formula is not used in surveying?
Are you saying that it somehow conflates the Earth being flat? That's what I would like to before. Let's get that out in the open before I step.
Absolutely, I would say that yes, it absolutely unequivocally demonstrates that when they survey the land, they survey it flat because they apply a flattening factor when they survey the land, and that brings it down to a 33-kilometer disk. Absolutely, I would assert that we live on a flat plane. I'm asking you, in your globe world, do you not accept that when they survey the land, they apply a flattening factor? Do you not accept that?
Answer the question.
When you don't have to bully him along. He's on his own.
No, I've already got the answer that I wanted. Thank you, Nathan. You think that the Earth is flat because they apply a flattening factor to it?
Yes, I think the Earth is flat because when they survey the land, they survey it flat. Yes, absolutely. Unequivocally, yes.
Cool. Hello?
Ooh, he spoke.
Hello.
Is that Alex? Well, good to have you here, Alex. Nice to see you.
Hello. Yeah, Nathan, you're definitely wrong, and I can show you why.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Can you please show the picture again, the composite that you showed like a minute ago with the spheroid drawn over, or the AE map drawn over the spheroid? Can you please show that?
Yeah, it's on screen now.
All right. So Paul Voigt actually found the source of one of the two parts of this thing. I'm sharing it right now, I think. I should be sharing it.
Yeah, we see.
All right. So this is one of the two original documents that you've used.
Screen sharing, but I see it. Oh, it is, yeah. Very good.
Well, you should be able to see it.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Now, when we actually compare this to what you showed in the picture, we see that you made the mistake overlaying the AE map with the actual diagram. For example, in the original, this is where the North Pole is. And you mixed that up and showed that in the AE map, it's over here in the center. This is not correct. When we actually go through this document, we find out, first of all, we have all the data, all the formula that we need, including the flattening factor that we've talked about already, or you've talked about already. But what this also shows is, for example, the different equations that we can use to derive the actual shape of the planet. For example, when we go through this document all the way back down, we get a map with the difference between the actual elevation and the reference ellipsoid. And yes, this doesn't mean that the Earth is flat, as you guys claim. It just means that this flattening factor... Let me explain this flattening factor. When you have a circle, not a circle, when you have a rotational ellipsoid, like, for example, the Earth, you have two different axes with two different lengths, in this case, A and C. And as you can see, those work into the formula. Now, when you have this flattening factor of 1 divided by 298.257, and you plug this into the formula with the radius that you guys
You missed part of the equation off. Sorry, Gio, just to interrupt. You also divide it by the original... So you divide it by A at the end. You just missed that part off the equation. You don't just minus A from C. You divide it back by A. Yes, it says F equals A minus C in brackets divided by A.
That is correct. A is the 6,370 kilometers, and A is a little bit less. No, sorry, C is a little bit less. When we know one and we know the flattening factor, we know the other. So when you're saying that we have this flattening factor, which translates to 0.0033, you immediately are instantly saying at the same time that when we have the radius, the equatorial radius of 6,370 kilometers, we will get the polar radius of 6,350. This is the equation that you, Nathan, showed various times and posted under various videos in the comment sections. When you're using the equatorial radius, and you're also using the polar radius. So you're saying yourself.
No, sorry, we're not using. Spherical. Sorry, just to correct you again, we're not using the polar radius. Could you just read the words that it said next to polar radius? Can you read that word in brackets for the audience?
Derived.
So we're not using the polar radius then.
We're using the flattening factor.
No. It says polar radius derived. You said we are using the polar radius. We are using a derived figure. A derived figure, correct? Not the polar radius.
Well, either we have to know the flattening factor, or we have to know the polar radius to derive the flattening factor. In this case, it was done the other way around. But if you know both radii, you can derive the flattening factor. So
it doesn't say it's used to derive it. It just is derived. It doesn't say that it's using it to derive anything. It just is a derived value. You're just conflating what's actually happening on screen. Sorry, my kid's screaming.
No, you're conflating something, actually, Nathan. You're conflating something you don't understand into a flat Earth, like usual.
Let me show you your comment that you made in under a video this morning, okay? Let me show this to you. I just have to find it. Give me a minute, please. There we go. Oh. So this was the video that was uploaded yesterday. And you showed this, or you posted this comment. Am I still? Yeah, I'm still screen sharing. Okay. So thanks for the adverb. F equals 6,378. I'm hearing myself. Somebody has to mute himself.
It's Oakley for some reason.
Okay. Weird. I can still hear myself. This is annoying.
Yeah, it's Oakley.
All right. I'll try to speak a little more silently because
none of the audience can hear an echo. I'm on mute, so maybe you have your watch page open, Alex.
No, I can hear myself too, Oakley. It's through you. You can see your voice meter bar go up.
I don't see that.
Are you looking?
Yeah, I am. I don't see it go up as Alexander's echoing.
Well, I can definitely hear myself. It's a little bit better now, so I'll just try
to confirm what Tim has just said. So I've now got my levels on screen on my desk, and you can currently see my level bobbing up and down.
Well, hey,
I'm going to go on mute just to make sure that Tim is just proven incorrect. I'm going to go on mute as I was when the echo was on.
You're distorting. You're sounding really.
Your mic is now messed up. It is your sound meter, dude. So
leave and come back.
All right. Nathan, can you please take away your sound meter from the picture so the people can see my screen again? That would be awesome.
Let's just establish, do you still have an echo?
No echo.
Get an echo. You're roboting out, Nathan. We can't hear you very well.
Yeah, Nathan, your sound is distorting, Nathan.
Leave the Hangout and rejoin it. That will fix it, I think.
Or restart your voice meter, possibly.
Lol.
All right.
Well, just before you go start, I'm gonna have to go. Yeah. So, but I'll be back another time.
Thanks, Zoe.
Have a
See you
great
later.
Thanks for the contribution. Thank you.
Here, Zoe.
Bye.
Be here.
See you next time. Yeah. Bye.
Somewhere else in love. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. So let's see. Nathan, you posted this comment in this video that I've shown. You applied the formula that I've shown before this one. F equals a minus 3 and this entire thing divided by a. You correctly get the flattening factor of 0.0033, which is identical to 1 divided by 298.25. But then for some reason, you come up with this equation, 0.0033 times 10,000 equals 33 kilometers flat disk used for surveying the Earth. First of all, where did you get this formula from? And second of all, why do you multiply this into it? This is just a factor that determines the ratio, basically, of the two radii. if we draw this into a geometry program, I can actually show you how much spherical this thing actually is. So
please
I'm
do.
using a
Please do. That's exactly where I got it from. So I got it from Chris showing it me in his model.
Your mic is garbage, dude.
Well, let's see you do it then.
Nathan, you gotta leave.
Let's see Gio do it then. I'd like to see
Gio
do the same thing that Chris is showing me if he's saying it's wrong. Fine. I'm open to be proven wrong. I've been shown it one way. If you can show it a different way,
you're not coming through very well.
It.
Really, when you look back, you'll say, you know, it's not coming. It's staticky.
I know you got a beast computer, dude, but your
I think his stream can hear him.
Dying, dude.
His stream can hear him fine, but like the Hangout, there's a glitch.
Okay. Yeah, you might want to refresh then, Nate, if you can.
There's a glitch with the Hangout that makes you robot sometimes, and then you just usually if you close it and rejoin, it fixes.
So if I just click refresh, you reckon that'll sort it?
Cool. Yeah.
Drawing this as soon as he returns, it will be ready.
Check. Any better?
Yes.
This sounds way better, Nathan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's fixed.
I'm always right.
So Nathan, please do me a favor and share my screen again.
Done.
And I apologize for the sound of my keyboard that you might be hearing.
That's all right. Don't worry.
6, 7, 6, 3, 5, 6, 7, 5, 2. There we go. So I've just drawn 2 coordinates into this program. The zooming will take some time, I'm sorry.
No worries. Why are you doing that?
So
if you've lost Alex, just click on Alex if you want him locally on your Hangout page.
What?
If you're in the Hangout, just click on Alex if you want to see him.
Cool.
All right. So again, this is now a 2-scale model. Oh, where are they? There they are. Of the planet. In the middle, we have the center of the planet. And B is basically the North Pole, and A is 1 point on the equator. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw in the 2 different circles that we get with the 2 different values. As you can see, the line here is now thicker, meaning that they are not exactly identical, but they are quite close to each other. When we zoom into this, we see that this line here represents the surface on the equator, and this line here would represent the surface if we were at the pole. Again, there's a difference between the 2, which is identical to the difference that Nathan made to this comment, which I've just marked. Divide that by the radius, meaning from 0 on the way here to that point A, you get this factor of 0.033, meaning that the reference ellipsoid is not, as Nathan claims, a 33-kilometer flat disk, but indeed it is pretty much a sphere with a radius of 6,370 kilometers, plus minus the 20 or so that he's mentioned here. So Nathan is demonstrably wrong.
Okay, I'll run that by Chris, who is a veteran surveyor, and see what he says.
All right, so do you understand why you were wrong regarding the
I'm not accepting that
factor?
I'm wrong, but thank you for the demonstration.
Hey, I was asking you a question. I didn't think I got an answer.
Guru.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan, you're practically claiming that this equation means that the Earth is flat, that there's a flattening factor that is so great that you can't be talking about a sphere anymore. As I've just shown, this flattening factor demonstrates the difference between a perfect sphere and the ellipse, where the difference in radius is just that large. So this is a 2-scale model, actually.
So what's the purpose of doing that?
The purpose of doing that is that you can actually measure. Well, the way that this WGS84 system works is you have this reference ellipsoid that I just showed, and then you practically pull like the locations over it, like when you're programming a video game, you have an object and you pull over it the texture. That's the same thing that WGS84 is doing.
Yes, that does answer my question in the slightest. So what's the purpose of doing that? What's the useful reason for doing it?
You mean using the WGS84 system in general?
What is the purpose of doing what you have just demonstrated? What useful application does it serve?
To show that you're wrong.
Okay, this is a tool used for surveying. So why do surveyors apply this flattening factor to the model? What is the useful purpose of reducing it down by a hair's width is what I'm asking.
Well, to answer your question, the Earth is not a perfect sphere. As I showed, it's a little bit ellipsoid. It's flat. It's flatter. Like the distance between the poles.
I understand that. You're now repeating yourself. You did this yesterday, so I've asked you a very specific question, and you seem to be avoiding the answer. So I'll ask it again.
Yeah, he was answering it. So go ahead, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, again, the distance between 2 points on the equator and the distance between the different poles, the 2 poles, are a little bit different. The distance between the poles is a little bit smaller. Therefore, it's useful to surveyors to use a map or a model that represents that more closely than a perfect sphere would. Therefore, this flattening factor is applied to actually show that we're not using the data pulled over a perfect sphere, but over this ellipsoid. It just makes measuring everything a little bit more accurate because you're more accurately representing the surface of the planet.
Oh yeah, and where's the curvature on this spheroid?
Do you seriously want to show this?
Just so I understand what you've said, Alex. So you're saying that by making it less than a perfect sphere, i.e. a slightly smaller sphere, that would make it more accurate.
Smaller sphere. Not smaller sphere.
Or smaller geoid.
No, it's not smaller. It's like squeezed in one of the axes.
Squeezed, all right.
Would be smaller, correct? Are you not saying that it's smaller inside? That diameter is not less?
Well, one of the diameters is smaller, yes.
Right, so it's made it smaller. Why would you need to make it smaller to make it more accurate? I don't understand.
No, you're not making it smaller completely. You're slightly increasing the radius on 2 of the axes, meaning the 2 axes that we can find in the equator, and the third one gets a little bit smaller. The total volume of the thing is going to stay the same.
It's not a perfect sphere.
Right,
Nathan.
So to make it smaller, just a slightly smaller sphere, how does that make it more accurate? Because it's not making it any less or more perfect. The sphere that you have just drawn is the same. It's just smaller.
Yeah, because I can't draw an ellipse in this program. If I
okay,
the way this looks, you have the pole would be on the inner of the 2 spheres that I've drawn, and the equator the surface on the equator would be on the outer sphere. The difference in the ellipsity or oblateness between the 2 is between the lines of these 2 spheres. That's the only flattening that we can see, and as you see, it's still pretty much a sphere.
Have you ever applied this practically?
Where does the curve come in?
Hold on, Arwin. Have you ever applied this practically?
Yes.
How have you used it in practical application?
By using GPS.
No, not have you utilized some other utilization, not someone else's application of it. Have you applied it in any way?
Why are you trying to drum up where you can get him little... Hold on, you can get little tit for tat shit.
Hold on,
I
just told Arwin to keep out of it. Why are you butting in? Why are you any different to Arwin?
In the way.
I'm trying to talk to Alex.
You were wrong.
Hold on. I'm trying to establish what he's saying and whether or not he's used it in practical application. Because the other person...
I already told you.
Because the other person who was... GPS is not your practical application, it's someone else's that you are utilising. What I'm saying is, the person who has told me something completely contrary is a surveyor who has used this datum to build things, physically. I'm asking you if you have done anything similar. Have you practically applied this flattening factor and used it in practical application?
But if I wouldn't be using this with GPS, if GPS were going...
say it one more time. GPS is not your application. GPS is someone else's application you are utilizing.
You interrupted me again. Please let me make my point. If GPS would be using not the WSG84 system, but a perfect sphere as a representation, you would be off on the equator by 30 kilometers. Or 20 kilometers, or whatever the distance between the 2.
That means nothing to me in terms of whether or not you have used the WGS84 and the flattening factor in practical application or not. That's someone else's application.
I mean, everybody's using this.
No, that's someone else's utilization.
Everybody's relying on the data of this
utilization. That's called utilization. They are utilizing someone else's application of this. I want to know if you have applied it to anything you have done.
No,
you're utilizing
that they're working on something that they...
of it, Nate.
No.
I understand that
as opposed to GPS available to everybody.
Somebody else's data, but we can verify that data is correct.
Sorry, I was talking over you. Can you repeat that, Alex? Sorry.
If there would be a problem with it, we wouldn't notice.
If there was a problem, that's not demonstrating that Arwin, I can't tell Tim off and not you. So you have not used it. You have not, then, is that simple answer. You've not gone out and built something using this datum. You've not practically applied flattening factor to do anything. You've used other people's application.
What's that to do with anything?
Why are you interrupting, Tim? Let me get an Alex answer.
Have you used it?
No. I've got a surveyor who has passed the...
So what?
No, I have got a surveyor who has told me, after many years of using it, that he flattens it to a flat disk. And then he uses it to build things, and has done for many years. I'm asking Alex if he's done anything similar. What's wrong with that?
You're not understanding what he's actually saying.
What I'm saying is, when Chris comes on and puts his argument forward, he will say, I have been a surveyor and I have used this in this application. I want to know if you've done anything similar. Simple.
No, I understand the difference and where your confusion comes from. Basically, when they're building buildings.
When they, is it you or they? Are you talking about someone else or you? I'm trying to establish if it's you that does this or they that does this.
You're talking about. I'm talking about the surveyor you're talking about. When you're going with buildings, there's really no reason to use a spherical surface, because what you do is you just take a look at the tiny part of that sphere. I'm now in, remember the scale here is in meters. So when you're talking about a building that is maybe 100 meters high, then, all right, then there we go, this is meters. So if you're talking about a building that is maybe 500 meters tall, like a really tall skyscraper that is in planning, right? 850, 900, this would be this size. Do you see how flat the surface appears to be? There's really no reason to assume that the surface then is to use a spherical surface as a model, because it doesn't make any sense to do it in this small scale. You have to realize how small objects actually are compared to the Earth. So when you're doing surveying for construction of stuff, you don't need to use it.
When have you done this? When have you done? When you do, you said when you do surveying. So when have you done this?
I have not.
Thank you, finally.
Oh, yay, you're tit for tat. Good job, Nathan. Good job, you got it. Good job, buddy.
So, Nathan, did you actually listen to my explanation?
No, he's just looking for ways to...
No, I'm waiting for Nathan's answer here.
Yes, I did.
All right, then what did I say? Please repeat it.
Nah, I'm good. It's been dedicated to
Oh, okay, so you didn't listen. Thanks.
No, that doesn't prove I didn't listen. This is nonsense.
Well, again, yeah, that's the problem that you're having, is the explanation.
This is nonsense. I thought it proved the flat hat.
You can explain to your blue in the face, but you're going to have to give a practical demonstration at some point, right?
Yes, I already told you. Every single GPS data that we're using is based on this.
Right, it's a surveying tool used for building things.
Yeah, to find out the coordinate, but not the actual, like the angles that you're measuring on the ground to determine the actual position of the building or the buildings relative to each other. You won't use satellite data. What you're going to use is the angles and the distances you can measure on the ground. Everything you have to know or to get from satellite data is like one coordinate, and from then on you can work on the ground by using angles and distances.
Correct. They do planar surveying on the ground once they get their geodetic surveying reference. So they level their transits, and when they do, they observe no curvature.
No, that's not correct.
That's absolutely correct.
Again, no,
have you? I'm sorry. Again, this has been given to me by a surveyor who has leveled many transits and built many things.
Yeah, the guy that says that the balloon, the high altitude balloon.
Sorry, we're on to a different subject to try and discredit him as opposed to his surveying. Tim, sorry, it seems like you're ignoring the credentials of a surveyor who has used this tool.
He's an idiot.
I'm sorry.
So now it's just an ad hominem attack against him, not his credibility. Hold on, we've got Geo talking over me now. So what I'm trying to point out to the audience, Geo, can you stop talking for a second just while I speak for a moment? Thank you. So what I'm trying to point out to the audience is a veteran surveyor who has used this tool has given me his information. Geo, who has never used this in practical application ever, has given me a different explanation. I just want the credibility of each individual to be explained to the audience. Simple.
All right, then why are you trusting Anthony Riley's data regarding St. Bees?
We're on a different subject now already. So what you're saying is the surveyor who has given me this data, who will challenge what you have said, Geo.
You're accusing me of misrepresenting or...
He
going against
he will challenge what you have
you are
put forward.
doing the same thing.
I'm very grateful that you have dedicated your understanding of it to air, so it can be challenged by a veteran surveyor.
Sure.
How about let's get them to talk to each other? How about that?
Oh, he's probably in bed.
Let's put it to rest there.
Like you should be.
I mean, Nathan, you are using that. I know that this is a different subject now. You're using Anthony's data from the height at St. Bees, while all the surveying data that
no,
we
that's
get from
not
the Ordnance
correct.
Survey
Sorry,
map
no,
shows a
that's
different
not
thing.
correct. No, we are not using Anthony's data.
Good point.
Sorry, to just correct you or not? We are not using Anthony's data. No, it seems I can't correct him. We are not using Anthony's data. At no stage ever have we used a measure from a tape measure.
Yes,
really?
you did.
No,
yes,
never.
You did.
Whenever you're sorry, bear with me. Hold on. I just want to make the clarity. You've made an assertion that's incorrect. What we have used is the values from Google Earth. That's what we've used, not Anthony's data as you just stated.
No, that's not correct. Let me explain why.
Wow.
As soon as you guys went to St. Bees again to verify Google Earth's data, you went with Anthony's scale, trusting him that his data would be correct, while in fact the data that you got from all the Ordnance Survey maps, which are done by professional surveyors, show a different thing, a different number. So you're going by
tape measure.
Am I allowed to address any of these things being put to me or not? Seems I'm not.
You mean the one that we've never seen?
Can I address that or not?
Well,
The tape measure data that we have never seen?
Can I respond?
Yeah, you can.
Let me respond. So the claim was at 35 feet we could see land on floaty land. The challenge was that Google can be up to 30 meters out. So you ballers applied 30-meter variation on my height. Me and Nathan thought
that's
that
not
was
right.
Yeah,
that
not
is
true.
exactly what happened.
No.
No. We didn't just randomly assume 30 meters of difference. We went to the more. We went to the more. No. We went to the more.
I want to hear Alex. Please, can you let Alex speak?
The assertion by the ballers.
No. Let Alex get his assertion. No, I want to hear Alex. Can we just hear Alex finish his sentence?
We didn't like randomly add 30 meters.
Oh, we have a sniper. Kick out Allenby.
There's no sniping here. Don't worry about
it. Leave him alone.
Oh, okay.
We did not like randomly add 30 meters to your measurements or to your claim.
What you all did.
No, I'm sorry. Again, let me please.
No, that is exactly what you all did.
Please let me finish my sentence.
No, you're misrepresenting what happened. That is exactly what happened.
We went to the more accurate data, which was done by professional surveyors. We used that one, and we used the data from there.
Do you want to quote what you heard what's his face saying just a couple of days ago? What was his name? Lewis.
No, it doesn't matter about Lewis. Lewis is
no. We've got lots of people challenging us, not just one.
Geodetic surveying. What?
You all used a value of around 100 feet.
Yes, because
where was that from?
This was what the more accurate map showed.
Okay.
Which is what?
Google Earth is up to 30 meters inaccurate. Correct?
Yes.
Right.
And that's what they're saying as well. They are saying don't use our height data if you want to go down to this accuracy.
Alex has just claimed that Nathan is relying on Riley's data. Okay? It is true. It is true that Ranty and I went back and we measured how high that hill was.
But not the tip of it.
Yes.
The position of the... No. You said
we measured the hypotenuse. Alex, stop interrupting, Alex. We measured the hypotenuse with a 66 feet tape, and there was tape left over. So we know the value of the hypotenuse. When we showed the value to when we showed the value to Nathan, that satisfied us three that the value on Google was accurate.
Just you guys, you're not sharing that data?
Yes, that's correct. Just for us guys to know that we are not making assertions from incredulity when we say that it is at 35 feet. If there is a suspicion, hold on. If there is a claim, albeit an unfounded and unsubstantiated claim by Miles and Al K, that the cliff is in fact 100 feet, then that may put our position in jeopardy. We would have to go and validate that it is not the case that Google's wildly inaccurate. And that's what we've done. We are not here to prove or disprove Google in terms of their elevation height. That's the value we've used. If you want to debunk
Google, let me ask you something.
be our guest.
Anthony and Nathan, in the last hangout, you guys said that you didn't measure the tip of the highest hill, the position of the second video, because the tape measure that you had was too short. What we are disputing is that the second video was taken from from a higher height than 35 feet.
Yes,
you guys are going back to the first video, which was taken probably at 35 feet or close to that. But we are talking about the second one, which is the one in question.
Sure.
And you guys, hey, whoa. And
Alex,
you guys keep again. Anthony, stop interrupting me.
You finished your point. I haven't made any claims about the second height.
I was mid-sentence.
I haven't made any claims about the second height. The
I would
claim is
like
on
to-
the first height.
Because you know you're wrong.
That's your problem.
I'll tell you what.
You're using the first height and you put it into the Earth curve calculator to show that stuff on the second video shouldn't be shown.
No, maybe you didn't understand what he just said. He has not made any claims about the second observation height. The only claims he has dedicated, and they were the exact claims debated on this show, were about a 35 feet observation position. And that photograph of him stood at that position was what was dissected in detail. So he's literally got a video.
Why don't you share it?
I was literally mid-sentence. I'm literally mid-sentence.
I'm sorry.
So he's literally got a video out with him stating that at a certain position, he's at 35 feet. That was the claim that was dissected. Correct. We have not gone back and observed any measurements on the 55 or whatever it is that's quoted on Google height, because there's no point. If you want to debunk that height, be our guest.
We don't need to. We don't need to
Neither do we. Neither do we.
You don't have to.
Neither do we.
Can I put a challenge to you guys? Because you obviously you've got an idea of how high the hill is. So if you guys want to put your heads together and do a video saying exactly how high the 3 elevation heights on that hill are, we will then do a video showing you the exact heights using trigonometry and physical measurements. How's that?
I agree. So why don't we?
So if you put a video together saying what the height of the hills are.
Why don't we take the ordnance survey into effect?
Yes, that was my original point. Nathan, again, you said that I did never make measurements in terms of surveying. That is correct. And then you referred me to the professional surveyor who apparently disagrees with me. So what I'm saying now, why don't you trust the ordnance survey map?
I do.
Which is done. I was mid-sentence. Which was done by professional surveyors over the one that Riley's doing, and which shows that he's wrong.
Well, your question was, why don't you? And I've said we do. Hold on, can I just answer, please? We do. So when people have come to us with a very, very accurate ordnance survey map of St. Bees, surprisingly, I've said, yeah, no problem. Let's see the ordnance survey map says for the other side. And what we actually get for the other side, for the targets, is a leisure map with a range. That's what we get.
Well, first of all, what is a leisure map? I don't know the word.
Cheap map that doesn't give accurate heights for the targets. It just gives a vague range. So when people come in the chat, when there was a boycott on saying it's somewhere between this and this at the target, that's not accurate. That's a range. So no one was willing to go and get accurate survey results for ordnance survey results on the target side, only at St. Bees. But I absolutely allowed that. Eventually I let you use the crappy leisure map for the targets. So I didn't stop you. I said it just has to be fair on both sides. Google on the target height, Google on the observation side. Or Ordnance Survey on the target side, and Ordnance Survey on the observation side. But not a random mix of either and or. It's one or the other. And I absolutely allowed people to use Ordnance Survey. That's nonsense. So why wouldn't I? It's a complete nonsense lie. I did not preclude anybody. I'm literally mid-sentence again, as Alex likes to say. I'm mid-sentence, Alex. I did not stop. You see, you just don't like the fact that you've asked why I've stopped somebody from doing something, and I haven't. I've absolutely permitted people to use Ordnance Survey on both sides. My point is that when they go to the target side, while I'm being interrupted, making my point, when they go to the target side, we don't have very accurate to within a foot Ordnance Survey maps being used, do we, Gio?
We have the same range of inaccuracy on the Isle of Man and using the Isle of Man Ordnance Survey map that we have at St. Bees. It's the same inaccuracy.
Wrong.
And if you haven't seen my hangout on the Rumpus, please check it out. I am mid-sentence. Again, we've used the Ordnance Survey map.
You mean we? This is an open debate.
The Rumpus.
What do you mean we? You and Rumpus on your own. Good for you. I haven't seen that. Come on the debate channel and show me with an accurate map, because I've not seen that.
We did it regarding the 4 lights in question. We did it regarding the one of the lighthouses. How was it called? Morcold Head or something. We got all the data from the Ordnance Survey map of the Isle of Man.
Cool. Do you want to show us? Let's have a look. Wonderful.
check out my hangout with the Rumpus on that topic.
Oh, right. Just refer to another crappy video on some boring channel that no one watches when we're talking about it right now.
You're
talking about it right now. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see your assertion. I'm not going to go and watch your boring video.
Yeah, we'd like to see.
You're right here, right now. You're here. Show us.
You already have. You already have.
You already have. Show us now. Show us again.
Chris Monk. Shut up, dude. Chris Monk, your little survey fucking butt buddy, dude, has said. What did he say on that?
Please don't.
He said, "Great job, Rumpus." Right. So where's he at?
Where's he at? He's in bed.
No, I'm saying Chris Monk said that he did an excellent job.
Yeah, so what? I agree. Rumpus has put a lot of work in. He's stepped up where you guys haven't.
He's your guy that says that the Earth is flat due to the whatever. Come on, dude.
Yeah, he did do a good job. He put in a lot of work, and he congratulated him, as did I. I tipped my hat several times to Rumpus. So what?
So
do you think he's proved the Earth is a sphere? So let's just find out what you think. Do you think Rumpus has demonstrated the Earth to be spherical?
Right, so can we just narrow the issues here? Let's not scattergun. Let's be specific. Alex claims that you can match it with the shape of the Earth. Is that correct, Alex?
Liar, Riley.
I didn't understand.
Come on, Tim. Come on, please.
So it sounds like Alex was saying that Mackle Lighthouse is consistent on the video as it is with the shape of the Earth. Is that correct, Alex?
It's pretty close to it, yes.
Can you demonstrate that for us?
It's in the video.
Yeah, but you could do it here. You could
do it live now. Show it's repeatable.
At that point,
you guys better talk to the Rumpus. He has the more accurate data. I would have to do it on the fly while he has the worked out presentation.
Well, Rumpus isn't here though, so you've made an assertion that you can't.
Well, I can send you guys the link and you can check it out afterwards. But it was pretty close.
Can't you just show us now?
So you've made an assertion that you can't demonstrate because Rumpus is not here. So then we have to dismiss your assertion.
No, that's not correct. I would just have to find the time in the video where this was done.
Go ahead.
All right. So it's in my recent hangout with him, which is called the Rumpus's Ultimate Renty Ride in Oakley, Ireland Claim Debunkification. It was at 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 1 second approximately.
Okay, fine. So if you stick a link in the side chat, and I'll put it below the video so people can check it out.
All right.
And put the timestamp on it as well.
Yeah, the timestamp is already in the link. That's what YouTube does. Sometimes when you're watching a video in the middle, like it automatically adds the timestamp to it. So when you click, it should add up at 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 1 second
of this lighthouse. But Google Earth says it's only 23 meters above the base, so it's out by 20.
Yeah, Google Earth is wrong on that one. Ordnance Survey is more accurate. That's why we're using Ordnance Survey all the time.
I think Nathan's going to play it.
Play it then. We were just watching now.
Oh, he hasn't seen it.
No, sorry, I was just grabbing the link. What was the exact time? I'll put that next to it. It wouldn't let me copy the timestamp link, unfortunately. What was the exact time?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours, 10 minutes approximately. You can start a little bit earlier.
2 hours, 10.
So,
I'll put it at 2:09.
Do you understand what Rumpus was saying?
Yeah. Yes, I mean that.
Tell us then, just before while Nathan's looking for it.
Pretty much. So the most accurate data we get out of this is that the bottom of the lighthouse is 43.7 meters, approximately above mean sea level. That means
43 meters.
Yes.
That's 120 feet. That's not right.
Approximately, yeah. You can see it. You can see it from the photo itself. The lighthouse itself is 23 meters tall, and the cliff underneath it is about twice its size. So yeah, you don't even have to use Ordnance Survey. You can just estimate it by the size of the lighthouse itself. Why is it so silent?
They're probably thinking of the next lie or whatever. Twisting of things.
All right, so the whole hangout's getting sniped. Who's sniping the whole hangout?
Not
probably
me.
Someone in the back chat that came in and left.
Nobody came in and left. I watched.
There was Arwen doesn't snipe, but there was Alan and
maybe it was Alan.
No, I sniped you out. Can't be
on. So again, by the size of the lighthouse alone, you can estimate the height over sea level, which is approximately 43.7 meters. This is in agreement with the Ordnance Survey map. So your estimation that it's at 20 meters, which Google Earth says, or 25 meters or so, is wrong by 20 meters. And yeah, when you're at the higher position from which the second video was taken,
So have you conceded on anything tonight, Nathan?
Say again, sorry.
Have you conceded on anything, or are you just going off of anecdotal evidence from your horizon?
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. It's really noisy. Just give me 1 sec.
Tim, did you snipe me then, and if so, why?
Well, you've been sniped, it seems.
I asked you, did you snipe me, and if so, why?
Why would I answer that? You don't answer any questions. You must not have been listening to the watch page.
You won't be coming in any more Hangouts, Tim.
All are welcome. All are welcome.
That's pretty poor form. That's pretty poor form, really, to be fair. Because the Hangout was pretty good at that point.
One question that I'd like to ask, Anthony, why did you kick me out last time? Isn't this Nathan's job? Anthony, are you still here?
I'm not so sure. I can't answer for Anthony.
Looks like he isn't.
No, it's quite a shame. It's a good conversation. I don't know why everyone started sniping. It's very frustrating because it was a good conversation. Mostly thanks to you, Alex. I'm not going to lie.
What?
The conversation was good thanks to you.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, if you want to do the hill heights, and you can guess what the hill heights are, and do a video on it, I would appreciate that, because then we know what we're up against. Because we don't know what you actually think the hill heights are. You know, we've had these random assertions up to 150 meters or something ridiculous. So if you guys want to put some kind of video together with a height you think positions on the hill are, you know, we'll be able to show you the true heights of the hill. We're happy to do that.
Actually, what we should do is maybe pay an independent surveyor to find out the heights of the hills.
That's a great idea, Alex.
Sure, if you want to pay for that, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
No idea how expensive this is.
No idea either. Nor do I care. Not interested, really.
So you're not interested in actually having a professional do this independently of your measurement?
Nope. Not interested in the slightest.
That says a lot about you.
No, I'm not interested because I'm not interested in debunking the heights that Google claim. That's not my purpose. I'm not interested in that. You are. You guys are making assertions and claims in terms of what Google claim as their heights. We're saying we use Google. You guys are saying, why are you using Anthony's measurements? And we point out, we're not. We're using Google's. You're saying, but Google's wrong. Well, good for you. Go and debunk it. Like I care.
Yeah, we are debunking. First of all, we are not debunking Google ourselves. First of all, we are debunking Anthony's claim. And Anthony is using his claim to plug it into the Earth curvature calculator and then say that objects that are seen should be hidden. However, he's applying, first of all, probably the wrong height, since he didn't, or he might not have measured it correctly. And second of all, without having seen his measurement video, we can't determine which position he actually measured the height of. But so if he has measured the height of the first position, which might be at 35 feet, I don't know, but then applies this 35 feet to the second position, which is demonstrably higher, then there's something wrong with it. And that's why we need verification of this one.
Maybe he's measured it wrong. We're not using his measurements. We've never plugged his values in. Not once. Never. We're not claiming Anthony's measurements. We're claiming Google's measurements.
That's not correct. Anthony did this.
No, he's used the values on Google. We've never altered them. He's reasserted his position and restated that we are using the values on Google. Not once has he claimed that they are his values. Never. And he's never released any either.
And he must have said this about 200 times. Repeatedly said it. He's using Google Earth.
Yeah, and Google is not accurate, as we can show by using the Ordnance Survey map.
That's excellent. Thank you for debunking Google. That's really wonderful of you to do that. We agree, Google's just not accurate. Wonderful.
So if you guys want to put your reputation on the line and do a video and state that you believe the height of the hill is blah, blah, and blah in 3 different locations, we'll show you the actual height.
I'm really glad you're all in agreement. Paul Voight's in the chat says, Nathan, we already showed Google to be wrong. Well done, Paul. Thanks. Nice that you're on our side.
Might I remind you, yesterday when I was showing that Google Earth is wrong at certain places, you pretty much ignored it. You said, no, it's not relevant at this position.
That's not what we did at all. I did not ignore it. Let's just correct you again mid-sentence. No, you're making an assertion that I ignored you. What we asked you to do was demonstrate the same effect at St. Bees, and you failed to do that.
You're ignoring the fact that when we have an inaccuracy at one position, we can assume that it's also present at another position.
No, unless there is that demonstratable, as you demonstrated it in the woods in Germany. So you demonstrated that one side of the woods, and literally you moved 2 pixels, 2 pixels next to it. You seem to be talking over me, Gio. You seem to be talking over me. You seem to be talking over me completely now. There's only 2 of us here, and you seem to be talking over me non-stop. So what you actually demonstrated was that there was literally a stitch in the landscape with a different value right next to it. There was no stitch at St. Bees with 2 different values right next to each other. It was not comparable. I didn't ignore your point. Your point was just not valid for the beach at St. Bees. It was entirely valid for a forest in Germany.
And I'm telling you, I can find similar positions in Britain. This stuff is found
Can you find similar positions at St. Bees where the observation was taken?
I just need to, just 1 second. I just need to introduce myself. Sorry, guys. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Lottie. Thank you.
Yeah, nobody cared. Did you notice? Nobody cared.
I just need to introduce myself, that's all.
Yeah, that's because I don't dignify you with an introduction anymore, because nobody cares, literally.
Oh, so you're treating your guests like a piece of shit by even not introducing them?
That's right.
Yeah,
I'll do as
Nathan,
I damn well please. Thanks,
we went through
Alex.
this, Nathan.
He doesn't have to be here. If he doesn't like it, he can sod off. That's his choice.
Oh, and then you're complaining that nobody is showing up anymore?
No, I'm not complaining.
Oh, yeah, that's what you did.
No, I've not complained.
You did, Nathan.
Yep. You're complaining that
again,
we're not
Nathan.
coming in anymore and that we have no position to defend anything, and this is the reason you side. But when you're saying we don't have to be here because we don't like your rules and we should, quote, demonstrate with our feet, then yeah, we're going away.
Good. That's your choice to do so. Good for you. Exercise your rights, my friend.
Can I just point out something really quickly? Sure. I just want to show you on my screen if you want to confirm who is sniping people.
Sure.
A Sleeping Warrior removed Arave. Sleeping Warrior removed Alan B.
Nathan, are you going to allow Sleeping Warrior to remove your guests on your show?
Can you
I can't
confirm
stop
that?
them. This is a bit like Google and their elevations, isn't it? I don't control that. Do you understand that? I can't stop him.
I'm just saying.
No, Nathan, he's an associate of yours. You could surely ask him to stop doing that.
Like I can ask Alan B to
Not
stop.
like you don't know
I
him.
have. I asked Alan B the same. I said, please, can you stop sniping people, Alan B? He came back. I didn't stop him from coming, and he stopped sniping people.
There's no proof. There's no proof that Alan B has done any sniping. You've been provided proof that Sleeping Warrior has.
Yeah.
Also, Arwen left the conversation on his own accord. He was not sniped, as you can see my screen, but the Sleeping Warrior was removing people. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, Nathan, why are you allowing Sleeping Warrior to ruin your show like this?
All are welcome.
He really has ruined your show, Nathan. Sorry, dude, but I like you, but he has. So
yeah, all are welcome.
No, you care.
But... Timmy is right. He's ruining your show, but he's a friend and an associate of yours. He shouldn't do this. You should address this.
Neither should anybody. Lots of people like to snipe the show, not just one person.
No, I agree with you, Nathan, but those people are trolls and you don't have a direct line of communication with them. You do with Riley, and he is an associate of yours. You could easily ask him to stop doing this.
I have.
Hey, what's up, guys?
In fact, you could not only ask, you could make him stop doing this, and if he doesn't stop,
that's the problem. People have got free will, Lottie. People can do what they like. They've got free will. I can't make anybody do anything.
That's why you don't allow Grim V into the show, right?
Yeah, I can stop that. I can stop Grim V coming in. I can control that. I can stop him being here. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you can also stop Sleeping Warrior doing that as well. You're just
because I don't want to.
Because
I don't want to.
Complete and utter potato as usual.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that with you, but I do want you here. I'm pleased that you've joined. The door is open, and you've used that door. Thank you.
No, you're not, Nathan. Look at the introduction and the welcome you gave me. You can't then a couple of minutes later say you're welcome and happy I'm here. That's contradictory.
All are welcome. Whether or not anybody cares that you're here is a different story.
No,
Nobody
Nathan, this is your
cares that
problem.
you're here.
You don't clarify your statements. All I welcome, apart from Mr. Grim V, is the statement you need to be saying.
No, the door's open to Grim V. He's came in, hasn't he? He was welcome to join. He did join. Then I removed him. All are welcome.
Oh yeah, no. This is your retarded logic, and that's it's just how you think. It's just utter.
Hey, what's
crap.
up, guys? Can you hear me, guys, or I'm just?
It's his hangout. To Yeshua's disciple.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have you here, Yeshua.
Okay. If I may say something, I would like to say, why do you keep on arguing? I mean, just take it easy. You know, everybody can tell its own story, his own story. Just take it easy, you know.
It's a debate
I don't know
channel.
what's going on. I just found this channel, but
debate channel.
I just want to take it easy.
On the debate channel.
Okay, it's a debate channel.
Should we sing Kumbaya?
So we talk about
fire
flat
and
Earth,
sing Kumbaya,
right?
maybe.
Sorry?
Should I light a fire and we all sing Kumbaya? Hold hands, maybe.
No, it's not all about peace. Look, I'm here from a biblical perspective, and Bible says clearly there is time to love and time to hate. So I know what you mean with singing Kumbaya. No, we should definitely not sing Kumbaya and everything is okay. No, but we should take it easy and talk like respective to each other.
I agree. Yes, we shouldn't call each other potato heads. I think you're probably right.
Okay, listen. So you ever thought about the biblical perspective about the flat earth, round earth debate?
No, but I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Now, the Bible clearly says that there is a firmament above us, and that that word firmament in Hebrew language is actually the word rakia, and it means like a visible arch. What we see, if you look up, you see the stars, you see the sky actually, and that is the second heaven that's described in the Bible. So it can be, yeah, you can go both ways with this.
Very interesting. I think there's a lot of information that's true in the Bible. I'm not a Christian. I don't subscribe to that belief system, but yeah, there's a lot of useful information in the Bible.
Yeah,
There's can be no denying it.
I would call myself Christian because that means a follower of Christ, and I follow Yeshua, Jesus. I follow him, but I don't follow any denomination or any religion, because religion is man-made, and they changed the Bible completely to their own perspective. So I don't follow belief system, but I follow the Bible, yes. And I study it in Hebrew and in Greek, so because I really want to go deep in it and see the truth about it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so actually what the Bible says that there is a arch, a visible arch above us, and yeah, it can go both ways. You know, you can say it's called the firmament. You can look it up a little bit. And ancient Hebrews also believed actually that not only that the earth is completely flat, they believe that it's a firmament. You know, like if you look at the dome that little children used to have in Christmas periods, you know, when you shake it and it has snow in it, basically something like that.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm ever getting closer and closer to believing that we do live in an enclosed system. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and if, you know, they lie to us about everything, about the truth about God. They lie to us about everything. So why not about the globe also? The school system is a lie anyway, so...
So, any idea why we all got sniped at the time we did?
Welcome to Mr. Grim V.
We all got sniped because Tim's just been a tard.
Goodbye to
Was
Mr.
that
Grim
because
V.
I challenged them to do an elevation profile of the hill.
No,
said
it's
if
because
they do an
Alex...
elevation. Well, let me just reassert what I'm saying. If they did an elevation profile on the hill and they put their mark to it and said, "This is what we believe that hill to be," you know, and we have the list of people that agree with this, like Geo and Tim and whoever else wants to put the name to it, Paul Voigt perhaps, and then we can release the evidence that literally smashes them in the face. You know,
hey Ranty, why haven't you guys released the evidence anyway?
It's not part of our assertion.
Why do we need to? It's not our assertion. This is yours. But we don't even know what we're fighting against. You're telling us that we've had people saying 150 meters, other people saying 100 meters. Well, get your act together. Say what it is. Put your stamp on it. Say the hillside, and we'll prove you wrong.
Hey, Earth Flattener.
Hi,
Can
Earth
you hear us?
Flattener. Welcome to the show. Ranty, you have evidence to prove your claim. Why wouldn't you provide that to us?
It's not a
Can
claim.
we just hear from Earth Flattener? Sorry, Lottie. Can you say
What's that? Hi.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. I was just wondering if that religious guy was still here.
No, he's been sniped out, unfortunately.
Thank you for being so polite. That's appreciated.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say that we can't prove that the firmament is up there, and the Bible that he's reading from, we can't prove that that's a real thing either. I feel like it's controlled opposition too. So.
Yeah, I'd say that about the current religion, heliocentrism too. Obviously, it's all controlled. I agree with you. It doesn't mean there's no truth in it, though. It doesn't mean there's no factually accurate statements being made. But the realistic truth of the Bible is nothing's black and white about it. It's occulted. You know, it's tied up in code. It's not just presenting the information for a simple man to understand. You have to decode it to get the information out of it.
But if you read it just directly, you don't think you could find any truth?
Well, no, that's where you get Bible literalists, people who take it literally word for word, and I think that's, in many instances, quite a farce. But
sorry, guys, I'm just going to take control of the debate here. It is the flat Earth debate, not the Bible debate. So let's stay on topic.
The Bible is a flat Earth book, according to people who believe that. So, is that?
No.
Yeah. So, Nathan, what do you think is true in the Bible in regards to flat Earth? Do you think any flat Earth information is true on the Bible, from the Bible?
You know, it's sort of occulted. Saying who can track the path of light doesn't prove that light has a path that it tracks. You know, it's like a riddle, isn't it? So it's not necessarily giving you anything.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to know what the height of the hill is, I suggest you put a video together, putting your claims of what you think the height is, and then we'll release the video, because it's not our claim, but we can defend the position that we've taken. If you want to put a video
we
out,
can defend our claim. Position. I mean position, not claim. We can't defend our claim, right, Ranty?
Well, you're claiming we can defend our claim.
What I'm trying to point out to the numbskulls is Ranty was going to say claim, but he realized his error and changed it to position, which is just the same as claim. He's just being deceitful again.
Hang on, I was going to say something and then change my mind, so I didn't actually say it.
Yeah, you went to say the word claim, and you realized that you would be pressed on that word, so you changed the word to position. But it just means the same as claim. You're just being deceitful.
Well, are you going to do a video then? Because you've spent weeks saying that you now know the heights of it, and you know. So I suggest you do a video.
I will do a video. Your video with your evidence that's been released. How about that?
Do a video on the heights, because it's your claim that
You've already
Google
got the
Earth is wrong.
information. You've already got the information and the proof. So when you do your video, I will do a video to debunk your video.
We're not trying to prove the elevations are correct in Google Earth, though. Do you get that, Lottie? Do you get that we're not trying to validate Google Earth?
You're sitting there, Ranty, saying, we'll release it when you make a video. But you've already got the information there. So you can already make your video and release it. So why don't you?
His video won't change the values stated in Google, will they? So they're not going to change the values we're plugging in from Google. That's the values we're using. So his claim is meaningless.
And we'll just keep plugging in Google Earth values. That's what we'll keep doing. And if you want to try and disprove that, do a video saying what you think the height is. Because you keep saying that we're wildly out.
When we both agree, we all agree that Google Google isn't correct. So you'll use incorrect information to try and prove your claim. It's utterly retarded.
No. Our claim is that the Earth is flat. Google claims the Earth is a sphere. So we're not using Google to validate our claim that the Earth is flat at all. We are trying to invalidate that Google represents the Earth correctly as a sphere. That's what we're trying to invalidate. If you want, as a side, to invalidate their heights as well, I mean, like you say, it doesn't really matter. We're all in agreement. Google's wrong. So it's okay. We're all in agreement on that score, aren't we, Lottie? It's wrong.
Yes, for elevations. So it's best that we don't use Google for that. Agreed?
Very good quote. Someone to pinch that soundbite. Best if we don't use Google. I think I'd probably agree. Best if we don't. It's probably not the best tool for presenting the Earth as a sphere because it's highly inaccurate. Highly inaccurate. Yes, you're right. Google, highly inaccurate. Probably best we don't use it.
No, that's not what was said, was it, Nathan? Those weren't the words that come out of my mouth.
They're coming out of my mouth. That's the words I'm saying. Probably best if we don't use Google. It's highly inaccurate, not really fit for purpose, doesn't demonstrate the Earth accurately. Not much use. Probably better off using maps done by people who take a geodetic reading of where they are and then use a plane surveying system to actually measure the land. And the land they measure when they level their transits is flat.
No.
Yes. Look up planar surveying and how it works. They level their transits. Simple. Do you know what that means? What does level transit mean?
I don't know. Tell me.
That's all right, Lottie. You go look it up. Go and look up of how you survey things.
I will. Nathan, can I ask you a question?
No.
What does level transit mean?
I think he said you couldn't ask him a question.
Shut up, knucklehead. I wasn't talking to you.
But he just said, didn't he?
Well, he said I couldn't ask him a question, and then I asked him a question, so he was wrong again, wasn't he, Ranty?
Yeah, it's free will. It's the same reason I can't demand that people stop sniping, Lottie. People have free will. They can do what they like, can't they? You can do what you like.
To ask him a question. So I proved him wrong again.
No, I don't give you permission to ask me a question.
No, that's not. You've changed it again because you're an idiot, Nathan. I said, can I ask you a question? And you said no.
Thank you for asking permission. The answer's no. Thank you for asking for your permission. The answer's no.
I asked you a question, Nathan, and I proved you wrong.
And I'm not going to grant you permission to do so.
Can I ask you a question, Lottie? Are you on your lunch break?
No, I'm at home.
Okay. Part-time job?
No, I work when I want.
Okay. What is it? Call centre job, isn't it?
Nope.
Or is it one of those that phone up about gas and electric?
Incorrect again.
Call centre job.
You've said that twice now. Incorrect.
Okay. Okay, just trying to figure it out.
Hey, did I hear it right? Did I hear it right that Sleeping Warrior tried to measure a second cliff and ran out of tape? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And is there video from that? Just wondering, because you figure you'd get a better view of Ireland or alleged Ireland from that cliff.
He did get a better view of Ireland from that cliff. Correct.
That's awesome. Great. But that's not released, right? I don't think I've seen that. It's not released.
Sorry, what's that?
The video from Riley filming from the 55-foot side of the cliff. There's no video of that.
Oh, you have to ask Anthony.
He hasn't released
I don't know which one you're on about.
Nathan?
I don't know which one you're on about either. There's about, I don't know, he probably took about 10 observations at the same time, up and down the hill, various different observations.
So there's a 35-foot cliff that he took the video from that everybody has seen, right?
Correct.
And then there's a 55-foot cliff that I just heard that he ran out of tape because the tape was just 60 feet or whatever.
66.
So there's video of that too, right?
No, he's not released any of the measuring footage whatsoever.
It's not
there is
about
video
the measurement.
of it, but it's not been released.
Okay, so it's at 35 feet the day he recorded, and he saw Ireland from 35 feet. You figured he would have also gone to the 55-foot side since it's higher to get an even better look and try to look even deeper into Ireland.
Yes, he did. I've just said
this. You forget. Well, you also forget he didn't know what he was filming originally. He was doing it as he was literally filming around, just having a nosy about. He was filming holidaymakers and stuff.
Actually,
he wasn't...
when you say that, I believe the Earth is flat, but I don't believe that because I live my entire life looking at the Earth from a flat perspective. I cannot leave my house in the morning without looking at the moon going, what is that? It doesn't matter what I'm doing.
I think the point that he's trying to make is...
If I'm going with my kids to the museum, it doesn't matter. I'm always looking at the weird sunspots on the clouds and wondering how close the sun is. So I don't actually believe that he was just leisurely filming and just wondering, oh, that might be Ireland, and didn't decide to go up 55 feet and get even better footage. I don't believe that.
He did all of the above.
Let me just make a long story short. Basically, Earth is saying Fathead is a liar.
Okay, I mean, I can give you the timeline. So he went out and made several observations. He's got a whole file full of these observations at various different elevations up and down a hill. One of them got released, and in that, he claimed he could see Ireland. That was his assertion. He also asserted very specifically what height he was at based on the measurements given to him by Google. So that's what he has put out. He has very unequivocally stated his position in terms of one specific observation point. Now, that's not to say that throughout the course of him presenting various information, he's not used other videos that he has got, because he's got half a dozen, maybe even a dozen observation points. And in terms of whether or not he was making a flat Earth observation, well, no. What he originally intended to go to St. Bees to do was make a flat Earth, specific flat Earth observation of Blackpool Tower. That's what he intended to do at about 80-mile distance. However, he couldn't find it from his observation point. So then he's like, well, what else can I film? So he looks around and says, well, I can see the Isle of Man. I'll film that. So that's what he did. But his original intention was absolutely flat Earth related, but just not specifically related to the Isle of Man.
Yeah, I think it's 50 miles to Blackpool Tower.
50 miles, my apologies.
But still, it's still the same. Still, he went to film Blackpool Tower.
But it's not the same, because if he was just going just to have a random, just a nice time with his girlfriend, that's one thing. But if he was going there with flat Earth intentions, now even more that he would have gone to that 55-foot height to get a better view. If he thinks he sees Ireland, and in the video where he's 35 feet and he thinks he's seeing Ireland, when he's narrating it, he's saying that he was like, I think I see Ireland, but how can that be? Like, he was confused.
That's right.
Maybe it's not. It has to be, and all this. But so it doesn't make sense why he wouldn't then say, forget this lighthouse. If I see Ireland, I'm going to pursue that. I'm here.
He did. That's what he did initially. So that's precisely the timeline. So he releases a video and says we see Ireland, and then we started. Oh, all right, okay. You carry on. Seems you just want to have verbal diarrhea, one-way conversation. Okay, you go ahead.
Well,
just keep talking indefinitely.
You're just defending him. You're not giving. Okay, originally my question was.
There's a specific timeline. I'm not defending him. I'm giving you the timeline. You're saying there's no way he wouldn't release this footage if he thought he saw Ireland and not take an observation higher up. He did, but the one he released was obviously at the lowest elevation, because that's the most flat Earth friendly. So he's gone to his lowest observer height, obviously. However, then someone like yourself has gone, well, did you get any more footage? And he's gone, yeah, I went up and down the hill several times. And then he's gone and produced other footage and released other footage that's at different elevations. And we've scrutinised that. And in terms of his position, in terms of his stating where he is, He's always maintained exactly the same position. I'm either, if referring to the lower position, at 35 feet, or at 52 feet, at the highest possible position that I could have been. Those are the values given by Google Earth. And he's always stated that. He's never changed his position once.
Yeah. And can I also say that at the... Wait a sec. Wait, just so that you can understand.
Anything from 55 feet, and you guys didn't know what I was talking about for some reason. So that's what led to this, me becoming even more detailed about it. So, yeah.
Can I just say something? What you need to understand is that at the 35 feet elevation, the lowest elevation, you're not meant to see anything over there to the right because it's supposed to be all behind the curvature of the Earth. Now, the question was, am I looking at Scotland, Ireland? And I didn't consider Isle of Man because it's supposed to be behind the curve of the Earth. So whether it's Isle of Man or Ireland is irrelevant. The point is, it's meant to be behind the curve of the Earth. We shouldn't see that land. That's the point. And that's why I took it from that point, because I could see it.
So, Sleeping Warrior, quickly, I know I'm trying to interject here, but are you guys now admitting there were two positions that you took observations from?
There's always two positions. It's never been in denial. He's even shown the file that shows all of the different observations he took. There's half a dozen or a dozen of them.
What? So you're saying he had two positions, one at 35 foot and one at 52 foot?
That's exactly what he's always stated, yes.
I think what's actually happening is you're realising what's really going on now. Not that I was being lying or deceitful, that you now understand the point. There were two elevations. There was the 52 feet one, there was the 35 feet one. At the 35 feet elevation, I could see land that should not be there.
And the 52 foot one, is that the one that you didn't release?
The 52 feet one was composited together and then used to show Morgold Lighthouse.
Did you make a video at that elevation, Riley?
Been displayed about 50 times on these hangouts.
Nathan, please stop. I'm speaking to Riley. Yes, Riley, did you make a video of that 52 foot elevation?
Yes, and that was where the composite came from.
And is that the video that you haven't released?
That's the video I haven't released, correct.
Awesome, yes.
Okay. I'm just making it clear.
Yes, yes.
Welcome, Dawn Trader. Hello.
Yeah, that is very strange that you wouldn't release that 52 foot video, but that's fine.
No, I know.
Well, why would that be very strange? When I'm a flat earther, I would release the lowest video possible, right?
No, you should release all the information possible, Riley.
Yeah, you should tell that to Al Kay and Miles Davis.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
I agree, but we're not talking
and also,
to them.
what
We're
would that
talking
do
to
for you,
you.
Lottie? I mean, as far as we're aware, it doesn't matter what heights or distances you show. None of those things
released all the information that was available.
Convince anybody of anything. So you're asking...
Well, no, because we're only interested in the lowest elevation because we see things that are supposed to be behind the curvature of the Earth. That was the point of the
Riley,
video,
you're missing
right?
the point. We're not only interested, we're interested in all the information that's available. That's it.
Right, so don't tell that to Miles Davis and Al Kay. My point is that we see stuff at 35 feet that should not be there.
I'm not saying it to them. Your issue of them is separate. I'm saying it to you.
Right, and I'm saying back to you that it doesn't matter about the higher elevation. What matters is at 35 feet, we see stuff that should not be there.
Okay. I'm saying you need to release all the... Fathead, what don't you get? You need to release
I understand your point.
Not under
I disagree with you.
obligation to do anything for anybody, ever. Do you understand that, Lottie?
Okay, Nathan, stop with your facetiousness. We don't need this. Keep your potato out of it. Me and Riley are having a conversation here.
Okay, I tell you what. Demand that he releases it right now. Make that demand right now, Lottie.
Shut up, you idiot. So, Riley even... I think I heard him agree that it's better if you release all the data that you have, rather than keep some information back. If you release,
I think it'd be worse if you released it all, Anthony. Don't release it all. You just chew up terabytes of space on YouTube. Don't bother. It's not worth it. You've got tons and tons of data, and Lottie wants you to release all of it. And frankly, I don't think it's necessary. So I'll just add a contrary opinion there.
Lottie, let me ask you this: if you get 3 observation heights and you see 3 different levels of the same thing, to a lesser extent as you get lower and lower, but at the lowest height you see the same stuff but just less of it. And it's supposed to be behind 150 feet worth of curvature. In other words, you cannot see it. Why would a flat earther be interested in the higher elevations where you can see it because you see past stuff, than the lower elevation where you can't see it at all? Why would a flat earther be interested in the higher elevations when we're testing the curvature of the Earth?
You release all the data, and that way there can be no issues, Riley. Even if you release the one set of information that, let's say, it confirmed the Earth was flat, you'd still release all the data. That's the normal procedure. And yes, Nathan, you can say he doesn't have to do anything. We know this, you silly potato. But I'm saying, to be totally clear and upfront and 100% honest, you release all the data. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So Miles data.
So
we'll get Miles data released then, will we? We're not talking
Nathan,
to Miles.
Stop diverting.
No, I agree with Nathan. So Miles isn't being 100% honest then, Al. Lottie.
Right, stop diverting. That's after our conversation where we discussed
this issue.
Has
Miles been 100% honest?
We can discuss Alkay, but I'm not Alkay. You need to ask him. I'm asking you about this situation here, and you keep
over and over again. We've asked him.
It's retarded.
We've asked him so many times, and he's just disingenuous and dishonest. And the only reation we had to measure it in the first place was to disprove his assertion that it was much higher than it is, and it isn't. So if somebody wants to reassert that claim that it's much higher than claimed by Google, then they're welcome to go out and actually provide evidence of that. We are making no assertions in that regard whatsoever. We just simply use the values Google gives us.
Lottie, let me ask you a couple of questions. Lottie, let me ask you a couple of questions, and let's try and give like short, concise ones, like yes, no answers. Do you agree that the assertion is that we live on a spinning ball?
Stephen, you haven't answered my question. When I asked you a question, you're just saying, well, why hasn't Alkay done it? So why should I answer your questions?
I answered it comprehensively by stating that if I'm a flat earther testing the curvature of the Earth and I see something from the highest elevation and I keep coming down to the lowest elevation and I still see it, why would I be interested in releasing the higher stuff? Why would I be interested in releasing the higher stuff when it doesn't do anything for the case? You've got a video there that's concise. It gives you the elevation, it gives you the location, and we see things that should not be there. Do you understand that, Lottie?
Or are you looking for flat Earth, Riley?
It's all right. Lottie's never going to answer whether or not he understands. He's just going to talk over you so that he doesn't have to answer.
Yeah.
No, well, he hasn't answered my question. I'm asking you, why didn't you release all the information?
He has explained.
He's just told you it didn't help the situation.
It's been explained to you in great detail. You just don't seem to want to listen to the actual explanation. That's all you're doing. You're just ignoring what he's saying and then ignoring his follow-up question.
And then claiming that I haven't answered you when I have.
So you're just saying, no, I'm right. So you're just saying you don't have to release all the data when you do observations. You can only release a certain part of it that you think are relevant.
No.
That's your answer.
All right. Let me put it to you this way. As a flat earther, we're testing the curvature of the Earth. Okay. If you go to a hill and there's 3 elevations that you can pick from, and you pick the highest one to see what you can see, and then you go to the middle one, and then you go to the lower one, and you still see what you saw at the higher point, just a little bit less of it, and then you check the maths and you realize that none of it should be seen. Which does it matter that you see it at the higher point, or does it matter that you see it at the lower point when you're testing the curve?
So let's say, like I said, even if you did with the lower observations, 100% prove the Earth was flat, you would still release the other information because that would still back up your assertions or your data. That's why, to stay clear and show 100% honesty, you release all the data. It's not hard to understand.
So wait, the only thing that we can conclude for your comment then is that Miles is not 100% honest. Right. The only thing that we can assert from we can take from your assertion is that Miles is not 100% honest. I'll be right back. I've got a phone call.
Well,
that's all we take from me asking you didn't release the data is that Miles isn't 100% honest.
Well, but the video footage is from 35 feet and the composite is from 52 feet, right?
Exactly.
That's correct.
So why would you use the 52-foot composite and not the 35-foot composite if you have a video that goes with it?
Because the 55 feet elevation showed more landmarks.
Right, but to me it seems like I was deceived by showing a 35-foot video and then going to another video to use as a composite, because I would expect 5 feet, take the video and just use those images and then make a composite out of that. It's
right,
not
but he
go
has shown the
35
video.
feet and then all of a sudden
Well,
use
clearly
a
you've not
different
been keeping
video.
up to date, because he has shown the video on this debate. He's shown it multiple times. He just hasn't published it. But when it came up for discussion, we absolutely have had it played on multiple times. But that is after the conversation has moved on. So originally he's released a video claiming he sees Ireland. Then we've moved on to different things. And we've gone to a higher elevation because it shows more. Simple.
Yeah, but the higher elevation, you don't know that. You can't prove that that's 52 feet.
We're not trying to prove that it's 52 feet. 52 feet's what Google claim it is. If you want to disprove that, you be our guest.
Well,
all we're trying to show is that there's not the wild 30-meter elevation variance.
Did you hear that bit, Earth Flattener?
See, I don't... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. What was it?
I'll repeat it. So there was a claim made by the Globers that Google is wildly inaccurate, possibly out by up to 30 meters. So if that's to be just left out in the open, that would be very disingenuous of us to just ignore that. So in order to go and check whether or not that assertion is correct or not, they've gone and measured it. That assertion is not correct. We don't need to prove that Google's accurate. That's not what we're here for. We're not trying to prove Google's elevation values as accurate. We're taking them because it's a sphere model. That's why we've used them. No reason. We're not using Anthony's measurements.
Well, I don't trust Google because it's a ball.
Me neither.
But if the second composite was at 52 feet, that's what is to be determined, that second clip where he took the composite, that was 52 feet.
Be our guest.
But even if you go for that, that's only going to bring into question the composite. The claim was made at 35 feet, and we're seeing land that should not be seen.
All right, so now that I know that the video was from 35 feet, and then the composite was from different footage altogether, I saw some videos that Riley, or some images that he was presenting, where he was showing people parachuting. So I was wondering if he took his camera on a parachute, and that's
what are you talking about?
Where he got.
That could be possible, actually.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've been watching every single one of your videos, and I think you're great, Nathan. And I remember seeing it just at random. I just saw people on parachutes.
Might be why we see Iceland in the corner as well.
Sorry, Dawn. There's a real point being made. Can you just
that image was found? If you search Saint, if you search for Saint Bees Beach and go to images, that's the second image on the top. So it was just a random image that happened to show the elevations of the hill. The paragliding one.
Oh, so they were paragliding, yeah. See, I mean, yeah. I did see that.
Stock photo.
So,
but Anthony didn't take them.
Now that I know that the second composite is not at from that 35-foot height video, now I'm really wondering if he was even on a if they have those kind of things where you can fly around and all this, why couldn't he have been in a helicopter?
Are you having a laugh? Number one,
sorry,
he's
you've
never
not watched the videos,
concealed the differences in elevation. Never. Not once. There's two different claims being made, one at 35 and one at 52. And whenever that has been disclaimed, it has been made clear that there's two different elevations. Simple. You're saying, well, now I know there's a second elevation. Well, everyone else knew. You've clearly just not been keeping up. Just because you've now discovered it means nothing. Wowee.
I wasn't sure.
Well, try and keep up.
I wasn't sure you had two elevations either, to be honest.
Well, then try and keep up, because he's disclaimed it about 100 times.
I think in my mind, I was referring to that 35-foot height video, because I've watched him, walk down it and do all that stuff and show where he was on, on the second caravan and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we get a composite and it's of something else. So no, I'm not having a laugh. And for you to...
No, I'm saying when you're claiming that he's parachuting to get that image, you know, that's ridiculous.
How is it ridiculous? All I have is a video of him from 35 feet and a composite from something else. I don't know where he is on that something else.
Well, we've played it. How many times do I... Hold on. How many times do I have to tell you that during the debate, when it's being debated, it's been played?
You played the 55-foot height video.
Yes. Do you want me to say it for a 6th time?
All right, that's fine. Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying to you. You're not keeping up, and you're saying, well, because I'm in the dark and I'm not keeping up. That's very suspicious. Or, no, just try and pay attention.
All I wanted to know initially is that if there was video from 55 feet, and you guys did not know what I was talking about. So that's why
we know what we're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're obviously not keeping up with what's going on. So don't tell me what I don't know. You don't know what's going on. You haven't been keeping up. Now we're explaining it to you. You don't have to accept it.
All right. Saying this 55-foot height video, you were not there, so you don't know actually what was used, where it was recorded from.
I've seen the video. You haven't because you've not been keeping up, but I've seen it played. I know he's not on a helicopter or a parachute. I'm pretty certain of that.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, and he's not on a parachute.
You've seen it, but I have not seen it.
Well, good for you. Try and keep up, pay more attention, subscribe to the channel, and when the notification comes in, watch the show.
Having a laugh if you have more information than me. I have not
because
seen
I
it.
run the show. I'm here every day. Of course I do.
If you tell me that he wasn't on a parachute, which I have not heard, then I'll trust you. But for you to ask me if I'm having a laugh,
don't trust me. Just try and keep up.
Video.
Don't take my word for it. Just try and keep up.
Now, we played the video. We played the footage. All you played was the view of the composite, not proving that he was or wasn't on a parachute. You've seen it, and that's fine, but I have not.
Okay, just for the benefit of the audience, if any of the audience wants to believe that Anthony was on a parachute, they are welcome to believe this. It is certainly a possibility, according to Earth Flattener.
Anything's a possibility at this point.
Anything's possible. Could even be a globe. I doubt it, but it seems highly unlikely. Could be possible that it's a globe, but seems very, very, very unlikely given that everything we observe is flat.
I would not have known that he was not on a parachute unless you told me that, because I have not seen the video.
My desktop photo, that doesn't look very flat that I'm looking at right now.
Okay, so that was good. We now know whether or not he was on a parachute is in contention. Amazing.
Well, it shouldn't be in contention if you say that he wasn't. You've seen the video. Obviously, I have to trust you, like, you know, the old preachers that used to read the Bible to their people turned around so the people wouldn't read the Bible, and they would have to trust what the preacher was saying.
I'm not asking you to do that at all. You don't have to take my word for it. On the contrary, no, you don't have to trust me.
Riley is definitely too fat to do any kind of parachuting.
He had one of them fans on the back, those huge fans. Paramora.
What happened? Is it over?
No. The prolonged silence after we all contemplate whether or not Anthony was on a parachute or not.
Oh, no, I debunked that.
Probably Paramora, we're thinking. Cause...
Nope, too fat for that too.
So does that rule Iceland out, or is that still up for contention?
Could be Iceland. We should do some shout-outs if there's no one talking. Shout out Lumberjack.
So if someone says it's Iceland, it could be Iceland, can it?
I've already said it's Iceland and no one's debunked me, so it's true.
When you said that the other day, I started thinking, oh shit, could it be Iceland?
You didn't debunk it, so it's true.
Yeah. Well, the composite's too bad to tell either way, isn't it? The composite's rather.
So we discovered on Flat Earth Debate 130 that it's actually Iceland.
The Isle of Man, and then you can see by the difference in the contrast of the two bits of land that it's definitely Iceland.
I think I can see Bjork. I just want to shout out Arwen's Horny Goatsweed.
Oh yeah,
shout out Leyli, Ohio.
Research the Origin Awards.
Shout out the rig. Shout out NASA Says. Quite funny. Shout out Allenby, of course. Sorry for what Sleeping Warrior done to you. He's an awful human being. Shout out Karen Pugh-Contrain.
So did we establish whether I was on a parachute or not? I believe there is actually a weight limit on a parachute.
You're too fat for most activities, Riley.
I think that rules the parachute out by itself, I think, to be honest.
Shout out Tony Vincenzo. Shout out Seeds of Doubt.
Hey, Tony Vincenzo, have you sorted out your herpes?
Shout out
I believe that you were asking the herpes cure from Arwen.
Shout out Baz Conan.
Nath, what was the conclusion with the 35 feet bit? Was it the guy that was in before? What was the conclusion? Did he accept 35 feet or not?
Who Earth Flattener? He's still here.
Oh, is he?
No, he accepted you were on a parachute.
I didn't accept
All right,
that.
so
I trust Nathan.
Okay, so
And Nathan said he was
Nathan,
not because he
I
saw
know
the
it's a pain
video,
in
and I'm
I know it's a pain in the bottom, Nathan, but would you mind sharing my screen so we can reassert the claim for the stupid people in chat that think that I was somewhere else other than what the video shows?
Yeah, give me a minute.
And I'm referring in this instance to Germ Panda 2012, who claims that they established yet again that I was not where I said I was yesterday. And I don't know where they've established these facts.
2012, by the way.
Are you going to interrupt me?
No, sorry, I was just doing shout outs. I couldn't hear you.
Hey, you're sharing.
All right, so for the idiots in chat, namely Germ Panda 2012, you can see in the video entitled Flat Earth Island. Seriously? You're going to interrupt me again?
I'll try my best not to.
Thank you. In the video, Flat Earth Island from England, ? Explain this with evidence then. You can see that this is the place that I took the picture from. And when we watch, according to Google Earth, it's around 35 feet tall. That's the position that I've maintained all the way through this. And I will be maintaining it throughout because that is what we've measured it and it seems to be accurate. So in the video, there is the continuous shot up the hill. And that's what you can see from the shoreline. There is the elevation that I took the video that we are dealing with. You can see it's just to the right of the second caravan. Watch what happens.
Where was the composite taken from? Where was the composite taken from? The higher or the lower position?
The higher.
Ooh.
So why are you showing us the lower position and establishing your position with this video that shows the lower position when all of the evidence that we've discussed was from the higher position?
Because look what this video shows, Jeremy.
Sorry?
What are you showing?
Are you watching?
55 foot high, telling me that the composite is 55 feet. Why are we watching
and
this?
again, he's lying. This is why you're confused about it, Earth, because he's lying again.
Why are you wasting my time with this 35 foot video? I want to see this. If you're showing me a composite 52,
because this video establishes that we see land that should be behind the curve of the Earth. Do you guys not understand this?
No, do you not understand, Anthony? Which position were you in? Which position were you in for the composite that has been used throughout this debate? Were you at the lower position
as is
or the higher
always
position?
maintained? 34 and 52. He kept on having to
Right,
say
so now
different
we've got a
measurements.
No. Stop. The composite was taken from the higher elevation, Jeremy.
No. Which is it? 52 or 35?
52, Jeremy, for the third time.
Right, thank you. So you're at the higher position. There's no need for us to see this video establishing your lower position. And the 52 feet, we say, is actually over 100 feet. And so does ordinance.
Can you do a video on that? Can you do a video on that, please?
Wait, let him finish.
I don't need to
Come
do
on,
a
Jem.
video on it. We've got
Do
all
a video with
survey
the
maps.
elevations. I beg you.
If you want to
Do it.
pretend that using data that you know is inaccurate, that Google tell you is only accurate to a certain degree, rather than using more accurate data, then you are not people who are seeking the truth. You are people who are trying to get off on a technicality.
Jeremy, well, come on, then, do the video. Jem.
Yeah, let's see you debunk
You're good
Google
at
Earth, Jem.
I've done a video.
Let's see you
I
debunk
had
it.
to do a video to
Hang on.
establish
We're
Anthony's
missing
position in
the
higher
point.
Position. Because just like
Jeremy,
5 minutes
we're
ago,
missing-
Hold
he's
on, let Jeremy
constantly
speak.
lied
Hold
about his
on.
position. He's lied about it in this hangout. He lied about it yesterday. He was trying to do it when I came in here. His position
right,
was the
and I'm
higher
reasserting my position,
the top
Jeremy.
of
That
the
is that
cliff,
lying, or
not
is it
by this
reasserting?
caravan. No need for us to see any of this. It's a lie. It's you trying to deceive people.
No,
Why is it a lie? There is land here, Jeremy, that should be
Because
behind the
you
curve of the
weren't
earth.
at this position. This isn't what the evidence that you presented. The evidence that you
Yes, it
presented
is,
was
Jeremy.
from the top of the cliff.
No,
This was
Jeremy,
released
you're wrong.
before the composite was
35
even
feet.
Jeremy, this was released before the composite was even made. This was what got debated about at
I know
length
it was.
on the
I
show.
know it was.
This
and then you guys
video.
switched to the composite. I see the deceit. This is the third video Anthony shot. The first
No,
two were
this-
from the top.
No, it isn't.
Right, Jeremy.
This is
This was the
You see that in his
right. Hang on.
folder,
Let's
mate. You
let's
can
clear
see
this
all
up for the
shots.
stupid people in chat right now. Let me answer this because I'm the one that did the video and I know exactly what
which
went
he
on.
himself
This
said
is the
was
claim,
from the top
Jeremy.
of
There
the
is
cliff.
land in this video that you're looking at on screen right now at
throughout
35
this,
feet
he
that is supposed to be behind the
attempted to
curve of the
claim
earth.
that
Jeremy,
How
Jeremy,
is
I've
that
let
a
you
lie?
speak. Let
One
him
that
just
we've used for all
let him
the
address.
evidence,
Jeremy,
he
can you
has
just let him
attempted to claim
address
it was
you?
from the lower position.
Jeremy, you've
but it
made
was
your claim.
not.
We've
It's
heard
from the
it. Can't
higher-
you let him address it rather than just repeating it ad nausea?
Jeremy,
go ahead.
There is land in this video at 35 feet that should be behind the curve of the earth. Why?
That's irrelevant. That is not what we've been considering up to now. If you want to make a new composite, go through all the arguments again with a whole new set of elevations, we can do that. But that is
Why?
not the evidence
No.
that anyone has been considering.
Jeremy, the composite was simply a tool to establish the facts.
It was
This
taken
land
from a
should be
higher
missing.
position, and you've tried to pretend
Jeremy,
you were
the
at a
land
lower
should
position.
not be
that
there.
does not establish the facts. That establishes a lie.
No, Jeremy. The fact of this, right?
Yes,
there is land
yes,
in the shots
Anthony.
right now that should be behind the curve of the earth.
Right, well, we can start the debate again from the start with a composite made from this video then. Let's
Why?
do
We've
that.
got a composite made from 52 feet, and he's always disclaimed that.
Right, so let's discuss the video at 52 feet. And
We
ignore
have,
this
at length.
video.
No.
We don't need-
Let's
We
talk
have.
about the land that's at 35
You're
feet,
trying to
please. That's what the
obfuscate
claim
between
is.
These two positions. You're
No,
presenting
35
a
feet is
Hold
the
on,
claim,
hold on.
Jeremy,
Let me
not
just
52
intersect
or
just for
152.
Jem. Hold on,
35.
hold on. So, Jeremy, are you saying that he can only make one claim from one
Well, he
video?
can make two claims, but he can't confuse the
Can he
two
make three?
claims. He can't pretend one claim
I
is
haven't
another
confused
claim.
them, Jeremy.
Sorry,
That's
the
what
amount of
you've
times I've heard him
confused because
say
you're stupid.
34 and 52 in that order. The amount of times he said
I'll
that.
tell you what he said now. What he first said was 35 feet, and he used this video to establish his position, just like he was just attempting to when I came in the hangout. Then, when he was challenged, when Miles first challenged him, he got out this third video that was from the top of the hill, which was his fuck up because it actually showed
Please
it
don't
was
swear.
taken from the same position as the second video. So then we knew that the second video, the addendum video, the one that we've been using for the composite, we knew it was taken from the top of the hill. And at that point, Anthony started saying, oh, well, you can have anywhere along this hilltop. I can't remember where I was. That's
Yeah, I
what
remember.
he said.
That's exactly what he said, yes.
And then
What's wrong with that?
yesterday, or in the last recent days, you've gone back to this. It was definitely 35 feet. I was
Oh, no,
stood
no,
here.
no, no,
This is
no.
where I was by
I'll
this
explain
second
that for you,
caravan.
Jem. No
That's
problem.
a lie.
No
All
problem.
The evidence
I
that
can
we've been
explain this,
discussing
Jem.
was
No
not
problem.
taken from that position by the second caravan.
Yeah, and he's
was it?
always disclaimed that. However, the debated
No, you
height.
haven't. You've claimed that.
I'm not
You're
allowed to
claiming
speak, am I,
it
Jem? You just
yesterday.
got verbal
You're claiming
diarrhea.
it.
Seem very triggered.
That's a
Don't
lie.
want to hear it. Just want to state your rhetoric.
No.
Right.
Go ahead,
Let me just
sorry.
explain,
Go
Jem. No problem. So the debated height was this video. This was what people wanted to claim he was lying about. You included. He's not at 35 feet, was what you all declared. And this is the video he produced. And it makes one claim, 35 feet.
Now, well,
Hold
now
on,
you're
Jem.
off-
Jem,
Okay.
hold on. I've let you speak. And then whenever it was up for debate in regards to the composite, he made it very clear that there was two values, 34 and 52. He kept on saying it over and over again.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
Oh, okay, we can go back and snip out. We can go out and snip out parts and prove it. No problem.
He was 35 feet. Then he was, I don't know where I am.
Yeah,
and then
that's
he
correct.
Was, all right,
then he established it. That's correct, Jem. The order is...
Jem, it's quite
correct.
Jeremy, it's quite clear in this video that I am asking specifically what this land is. And do you remember I said it could be Scotland?
Jem's very angry. It seems clear that Jem's annoyed about this.
Next to the caravan when he wasn't there.
No need to get annoyed about it, Jem.
I was, because you can see it.
I was expecting to see the 52-foot height video right now, which has been claimed to have been made.
That has been released. It's just, as you saw, he's trying to pretend that he was at a different position. And
no, this is the height that was debated about at nausea, again, indefinitely, with people going to this position, showing him standing by the tripod and saying, he's not at 35 feet. Now you're trying to conflate that into an argument that makes it seem like he was pretending he was at 35 when at 52. And that's not the case. He declared that. Initially, he did. Oh, Jem, why do you keep talking over me? Why are you so annoyed? Why are you so annoyed? This has all been documented. Why are you so annoyed? Why are you getting so high-pitched rather than letting me speak?
And it's insulting.
No need to get high-pitched and annoyed, Jem. I'm trying to give you an explanation. You don't want to hear it. So, yes, at some stage...
I do want to hear it. I'm just annoyed by it.
Some stage during the debate, he did disclaim that he didn't know which height he was at. He disclaimed that. So, what's the problem?
Oh, so now he doesn't know what height.
No, you're now conflating parts of the argument that are from 2 months ago, like they've happened yesterday. That's not the case. He's made a claim on this video, the first video he released. This was the height that everybody challenged. Simple.
And what we did, to appease you lot, we gave you the upper value. We gave you the upper value, the highest possible value, which was the top of the cliff at 52.
Because that does look like more than 35 feet. And the Ordnance Survey maps bear that out.
Right, however, so we debated the 35 feet observation, Jeremy, as you've just succinctly pointed out. Correct, you're saying that what everyone said was no, the 35 feet observation doesn't look like 35 feet, and so it went on.
Let me finish what I was saying then, because as I was saying, new evidence then came to light which showed that Anthony's position was different. So let's forget about heights for a minute. His position was different. He was not by the second caravan. He was higher up the cliff.
Yes, and this has always been disclaimed.
Then the argument became that, and that's the end. And when he tried to prove that that wasn't the case, when he was lying again, trying to say that that wasn't happening, his evidence actually showed that that is what happened, and he was from the higher position. And now you're admitting that he was.
We've always admitted
when
he was.
Challenged him on it, he said, "No, I wasn't. I can prove that I wasn't at the top of the cliff."
Let me respond. Can I respond?
We've got about
the original video, Jeremy, was recorded at 35 feet as per Google Earth. And we gave you 52 feet, which is the highest elevation on Google Earth. Then we spent time discussing the other video, and the composite was created from the other video, and we gave you 100 feet because Lewis wanted more. People wanted more. So we gave you 100 feet. But the original claim that we're trying to establish is, why can we see land from here that we shouldn't see? So again, Jeremy, I would refer you to this timestamp in this video. Whatever this land is, Jeremy, it should be behind the curve of the Earth. That is the claim. We used the comp.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you, first and foremost, to all of the live audience for tuning in and for sharing this show. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.